So as you already know, I'm Víktòra from Derinja in Cyprus. The military invasion of Turkey in Cyprus in the summer of 1974 is the worst crisis Cyprus has experienced in the modern times. A crisis that continues to this day, since 37% of the island is still under Turkish occupation. Thousands of people are still refugees, and hundreds of people are still missing. In Europe at that time, things were different. European states were at the height of their prosperity, and European citizens were enjoying their prosperity in peace and security. It was with the outbreak of the global financial crisis of 2008 and the wars in Iraq and Syria a few years later that Europe began to enter a protracted period of multifaceted crisis and to feel their consequences. That's when Europe started making political decisions that were not always in the interest of local communities, thus falling into a political trap that it will hardly be able to get out of. Political decisions to solve economic crisis and populist approaches to dealing with humanitarian problems push citizens towards nationalism, racism, and Euroscepticism. With the same neoliberal politics, they divided Europe into North and South, into rich countries and poor countries. To deal with the crisis of that period, strict memorandums and austerity measures were implemented that brought the economies of the southern countries to their knees and impoverished their inhabitants, while in the countries of the north, they found fertile ground for the implementation of neoliberal policies. With the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, neoliberal policies and strict austerity measures were set aside, and policies of support for the popular strata took their place. The pandemic crisis that touched the economies of all the countries of Europe brought to the fore the need of applying policies strange to the dogmatic political line followed in previous years. With Russian invasion of Ukraine, this policy change became more necessary and its implementation imperative. So we see that Europe today is not as sensitive to environmental issues as it was in the years before the war in Ukraine. We see European countries turning to the use of coal and various fossil fuels instead of renewable energy sources, which were the ultimate goal of Europe in the previous years. With the political paradoxes of the leadership and the extremely conservative views of a lot of people of Europe, it seems difficult to deal effectively with the multiple crises that are plaguing the world at this time. Such crises are the following: cost of living crisis, the rising of inflation, food supply crisis, energy supply crisis, erosion of social cohesion, societal polarization, biodiversity loss and ecosystem collapse, geo-economic confrontation, widespread cybercrime and cyber insecurity, large-scale involuntary migration, large-scale environmental incidents. In order to effectively deal with this crisis, the leaders of the countries of Europe should renew their general philosophy, and their decisions should take into account the interests of all countries, follow the guidelines below, take lessons from the past, fix what can we control. Together we stand, the stronger we are. Empathy, adaptability, and resilience are the keywords to success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. I see that you had very good reflections. Now we